Hello and welcome back to the Simple Joy Show. Today we're going to explore a very specific yet widespread challenge that many of us face when we're decluttering, and that's the dilemma of letting go of gifts that you may not need, use or love out of fear of offending or hurting the giver's feelings. And yes, it's a sensitive area, but trust me when I say that there is a way to navigate it gracefully, and that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's episode. This is the Simple Joy Show, the podcast for people who are ready to declutter and simplify their homes and lives to create more space, time, energy and freedom. I am your host, Hayley Forster, mother, wife and declutter coach, and I'm going to be sharing with you simple bite-sized nuggets to help you on your journey to living a simpler life through the power of decluttering. So if you're ready to choose calm over chaos, then let's dive into today's show. Hello everybody, how are you all? I hope you're having a lovely summer holiday. I just feel like the past couple of days we've started to get some summer weather. It's been raining for like non-stop for 2 or 3 weeks here, which has been a little bit depressing, but yesterday and today seems lovely. It's actually got some temperature, which is nice, so hopefully summer is eventually here, but we are going on holiday next week. We've got a week to go, so we've been doing some preparation for that and we're all very excited. I hope you have got some lovely plans for the summer as well. Today we're off to see The Haunted Mansion at the cinema, and based off what I was just saying, it's a little bit weird. The sun's started to come out, it's getting warmer, so we've decided to go and sit in a dark room for a few hours, but the girls are really looking forward to it. We went to see Elemental last week. Everyone's off to see Barbie. That's all everyone's talking about at the moment, isn't it? But we haven't seen that yet. I'm sure we will at some point, but it feels a little bit weird going to see The Haunted Mansion in the middle of August. I just presumed that would be a Halloween film out at the end of October, but yeah, I might come out wanting pumpkin spice lattes and wanting to go trick-or-treating by the end of that film, so we'll see how that goes. That'll feel unusual in mid-holiday season in August but I'm sure it is going to be fun. But we're going to be doing that this afternoon before we head into the weekend. But without further ado, let's get into the topic of today's episode. It's going to be a nice little quick one today. I'm going to be continuing the topic that I've been covering for the past couple of weeks, and that's the decluttering fears that we have come up for us when we start the decluttering process that might stop us from even starting or continuing our decluttering journey. And today's one is very specific. It's about the fear of feeling guilt or obligation towards people who may have gifted us an item that we don't really need, want or really like. And that can be a really difficult one because gifts are unique. They symbolise thought, care and perhaps the bond that we have with the person that has given us that gift as well. And that really is where the conundrum is. What do you do with a well-meaning gift that actually really doesn't resonate with you, your personal style or your lifestyle as well? And that can be really difficult to contend with. And what usually ends up happening is that we end up keeping it in our home because of that fear of guilt, of feeling bad that someone has spent their well-earned money and taken time to choose a gift for you. They've given it to you for a special occasion and you're just being very nonchalant about it and just like, I don't like it, I'm getting rid of it. And that guilt can really weigh on your shoulders to the point where it stops you actually choosing what you want to do with it, and you just end up keeping it in a cupboard or on a shelf and not really using it. So how do we overcome this? The first thing is to acknowledge the sentiment. Before that item, before that gift comes into your home, it starts as a thought. It starts as an emotion from the giver to you. So understanding and really valuing that thought and that emotion behind it is the first step. Really, the item itself is secondary to the sentiment that it represents. So by acknowledging the sentiment from the giver, we're giving the gift its due honour. We're ensuring that we understand that this was a feeling, it was emotion from somebody, not necessarily just the physical item itself. At the end of the day, a gift is given so someone can show that they care about you. And then when you accept the gift, you thank the giver for the gift and the love behind it that they've provided to you. The gift then really has served its purpose. So after that, it belongs to you, and you get to decide if that then is something that you want to stay in your home, or something that you need, or something that you want. So take a moment to reflect and evaluate its place in your home. Ask yourself, does the gift fit in with your present lifestyle, with your present values? Does it align with the aesthetics and the functionality of your home as well? It might not be your style. And if that is the case, it's okay to consider passing it on. And beyond that, think about what the gift giver would want you to do. Do you think that they would want you to keep that gift that they've given you in your home just because they gave it to you? And would they even remember that they gave it to you to begin with? As hard as it might be, if someone in your life does expect you to keep everything that they give you, that might be the time when really some boundaries and some clear communication is required on your part. And you might want to consider some open dialogue at this point, and that can be quite a delicate step. And I've never really felt the need to do this yet, but if you are contemplating parting with a gift and you think that it might come up in a future conversation with the person that's given you that gift, then honesty obviously is the best approach. So just approach the discussion, really, the conversation that you're planning on having with them, with kindness and gratitude, and just explain to them, look, I really love that you gave me this gift and it's really thoughtful for you, and I love the sentiment behind it. But then just share your journey of decluttering and why you're choosing to do it, and just explain your decision behind it, and just try to ensure that the giver knows that you've really truly cherished the gift that they have given you and the thought behind it. But at this moment in time in your life, it's just not really fitting with your lifestyle or your values or your style in your home. And just be really honest about it, because let's be honest, we all buy gifts for other people, and sometimes we don't really know what to get them. And that might be the case for the person that has given you that gift. They might not have necessarily known it's something that you would like, and actually the feeling that they have behind it might not be as much as they would have wanted it to be had they bought something that they knew you would truly love and value. So you're probably worrying a little bit too much about what the other person would probably think about that item to begin with. But as I say, honesty is the best policy, and if you feel the need to, feel free to have that discussion with the person that is giving you that gift. But as I say, I don't really feel as though I've come upon an instance where I need to have that discussion at all. But the option is there if you feel as though you need it. At the end of the day, it is up to you to decide if it's worth holding on to that gift that ultimately is going to turn into clutter just to keep the peace. Or is it worth having an honest conversation and setting clear boundaries that's going to serve you better in the long run? And you might even have the discussion, and it's a discussion we've had in our family, where we say, look, we're at a stage in life where we've got everything that we could possibly want. Our lives and our home are full of wonderful stuff. So if you feel as though you want to give a gift, I'm not asking for a gift, but if it's something that you want to provide and want to give for those special occasions, then feel free to give us something like consumables, like wine, chocolate, food, something like that. Or even it might just say that you could contribute with vouchers perhaps, and then it's up to you then what you use those vouchers on, and you can bring something in your home that is valuable to you in the moment, and something that you actually need that perhaps they would never have even thought about getting you. But in most cases, actually, with our family, we've just said, look, we'll buy for the children, and we don't really buy for the adults anymore, because we are all at that stage of life where we've got everything that we need and we want, and if there is something that we need and we want, we kind of buy it in the moment, rather than waiting for someone to perhaps gift it to us someday. So we do say, look, if you do feel inclined to get us anything, we don't want anything, but if you do, then feel free to do vouchers, or perhaps even something like an experience or an event or something like that, something that is not going to add clutter within your home. But have those discussions with the people in your house and your home, and also the close network of family and friends you've got around you, and have those honest discussions and those conversations about what you want to do moving forward in the future. And I would say my last point on this is that letting go of items and gifts that people have given to you doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to throw it away. If the item's in good condition and it just doesn't serve you, really you've got to think about it could be great value to somebody else. So different ideas that you could do with any of the gifts that you've got around them, you could just recycle them. So if it's got recyclable components, just ensure it's processed responsibly. My favourite things to do are not necessarily to recycle, it's to donate or regift. So if it's something that I can give to a charity shop or a community centre, they all love receiving items that are in good nick, and your great gift really could make a real difference in someone's life. So instead of it being in a cupboard or on a shelf in your home, being of no use to anyone, why not gift it to somebody that is actually going to make use of it? And there's plenty of charities and community centres out there that will take items in. And then also the regifting side of it, just because the item wasn't right for you, it doesn't mean that that's not going to be a perfect match for somebody else out there. So you can look, just see if the item finds a loving home elsewhere. And if you don't have anyone close around you that you can regift items to, consider just looking on Facebook. We've got a couple of local groups that are, it's kind of like Free Cycle really, where you just pop a post up and you just say, I'm not selling this, it's completely for free. Would anyone be interested in this? And I've used that multiple times for not just things perhaps that I would be regifting, but anything in my home that I want to give away that is actually in pretty good condition. I've given away some of my daughter's wellies that she's grown out of. There's an old suitcase, things like that. So just have a little look on your social media for any local groups that you could choose to regift, or any local charities or community centres that you can donate to as well. So just to wrap this episode up, what I would just say is that your home is your personal sanctuary, and the big thing that I'm really passionate about is making sure that your home is comfortable for you to live in, and that you feel safe and secure and healthy and not anxious at all. And your home really should be your place to be, your place to feel comfortable, and it should reflect who you are as a person and as a family. And this shouldn't become a space where you keep things out of guilt or obligation. And every item in your home should either bring you joy, bring you happiness, you enjoy looking at it, or it's something that actually serves a purpose and you actually use it. And as we go through the journey of decluttering and going through the decluttering process, it's those principles that really should guide your choices, and not the feeling of guilt and obligation. It should be all about the positive emotions and feeling like, how does this make me feel? If it makes me feel good, or I put it to use in some positive way, then it stays. Anything that is connected to a negative emotion, then we can work our way through those and ultimately try to eliminate them from our homes as much as possible. So that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me on the Simple Joy Show. Until next time, stay simple, stay joyful, and remember to honour sentiments, not just the items. See you next week. Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the Simple Joy Show further, then please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram at HelloSimpleJoy. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.